Hi guys, so as Parliament sat for an emergency session on Saturday to debate whether the Business Secretary should be given the power to take over a steelworks to avoid it from collapsing, the Leader of the Opposition, who is the former Business Secretary herself, raised a point of order which once again indicates not just how she's incompetent as an MP, but reinforces the idea that her party and government were not serious about doing a good deal for Britain and for the steelworkers. Jonathan Reynolds, who was leading the discussion, attacked Badenoch here, who he claimed had not done the deal that she had promised before leaving office. The Labour Minister called out what she had said the day before as a lie. This is interesting because then Badenoch did not call the Minister to correct the record, which either means that she did lie or she's just too incompetent to call it out. Have a listen.
And I welcome the Opposition's support today for this recall. But this issue should have been resolved years ago. I also believe they may now view it as a mistake to have given this essential national asset to this company. But I have to address, and I do this as a matter of genuine regret, the statement I saw made by the Leader of the Opposition yesterday. Because she claimed that, while she did my job, she negotiated a modernisation plan with British Steel to build an electric arc furnace at Teesside, followed by one at Scunthorpe. Mr. Speaker, I wish to make unequivocally clear to the House the new government inherited no such deal. We could not renege on that deal because it did not exist. On day one, I was told there had been a lack of progress on this matter to date. So if such a deal was negotiated, somehow in secret, I would ask the Leader of the Opposition to say how much money she agreed to give Xingye for this deal, what were the conditions placed upon it, and to state the obvious, building two electric arc furnaces in two different locations would be more expensive than building one in one location. And given Xingye's request to build two furnaces in Scunthorpe was for £1.2 billion in taxpayer support, what...
Point of order. Kemi Badenoch.
Mr. Speaker, I would like advice on how to counter the points which the Secretary of State is making, given that they are factually incorrect, and they're factually incorrect and a complete misrepresentation of the situation that he inherited.
It's just been clarified by her good self. I can say I can't make the Secretary of State give way when you want to come to dispatch box. But I'm sure if he noticed...
All she'd have to do is say that he misled the House. Unintentionally, of course. But she didn't say that. So she knows he's telling the truth. Because if he was lying about what she had done or about an agreement with the Chinese company, then she would just call it out. She would say that he has misled Parliament. But she didn't do that. Did you notice that?
Again, he may wish to. Secretary of State.
Speaker, this is an excellent chance to clarify this. Because if the Leader of the Opposition agreed a deal with Xingye to cause massive job losses in Scunthorpe, transfer the jobs to a completely different place, at higher cost than the request the company made to us, I think she should be able to tell us. And I'm more than happy for her to give
Mr. Speaker, Labour cannot negotiate. We were negotiating a modernisation deal that would have had limited job losses, just like we had in Port Talbot. They inherited a functioning commercial deal in Port Talbot. The same was going to happen with British Steel had we not had a snap election.
What are you talking about? There was going to be a deal. Was there a deal or was there not a deal? Like, you're criticising the new government for negotiating. You had told the media the day before there was a deal. So was there a deal or was there not a deal? Obviously there wasn't, because if she had said that there was, and then the Secretary of State says that there wasn't, and he was lying, then she would have pointed that out. She would have called on him to retract his statement that he was unintentionally misleading the House. But she didn't do that because she knows she was lying. She was attempting to play political games here. It's pathetic.
What he is doing now, Mr. Speaker, is the union-pushed deal. They brought that deal to me, Mr. Speaker. I said no, he said yes.
Oh my goodness, this is beyond embarrassing. It's beyond embarrassing. She's supposed to push back. She's supposed to have her ducks in a row. Why did she call for a point of order if she didn't know what she was going to say? She could have just said nothing and just let the Minister or the Secretary of State continue on. It would have been embarrassing. But by calling out this statement, by attempting to attack it, by having a point of order on it, and not actually knowing what you're going to say after, is even more embarrassing.
Mr. Speaker, this is genuinely revelatory. I say again, if Xingye's request was for £1.2 billion to build at lesser cost in one place, what was the sum of money agreed by the Leader of the Opposition when she was Business Secretary to build in two places? Give it, because it certainly wasn't in the accounts of the Chancellor. I will give that. How much money was agreed to Xingye to close the jobs in Skunthorpe? Mr. Speaker.
When you are negotiating, you do not have... They're cheering and laughing because they love this. They think that the public taking on billions of pounds of liabilities is fantastic. We had not finished the negotiation, so there was no amount. But
then why did you say that you did have Why did you say that you did negotiate a deal? The day before you said you negotiated a deal, and the Labour Party were going back on that. Now you're saying we didn't negotiate a deal because, well, we had an election and we didn't have time. Then why didn't you say that in the first place? Why are you attacking the government for negotiating a deal when your own Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak at the time, decided to call an election before the negotiations had been completed, according to you? She's supposed to be the Leader of the Opposition. She's supposed to be holding the government to account. And she doesn't know her backside from her elbow. It's just becoming more and more embarrassing. And I think she's eventually going to be replaced. Maybe the guy behind her on the right is going to take her place. Because she's not competent here. She doesn't know what she's doing half the time. She has a script. She stands up and reads her script. When it comes to questions like this, raising points of order without actually knowing what you're going to say. This is not what the Leader of the Opposition should be doing. She should be grilling the Prime Minister. She should be grilling the Labour government. But every time she opens her mouth, it's just another gaffe, even though she claims she never makes gaffes. So once again, I think she's going to be replaced pretty soon because she's not leading in opposition. She's not cutting through. There was a recent poll that had none of the above leading, followed by, I believe, Keir Starmer and Nigel Farage. And then Kemi Badenoch was further down the list of potential prime ministers. So any Tory MP who's watching this will realise, look, we need a change. We need somebody who's able to think on their feet, somebody who's able to act without a script, who's able to ask questions and truly hold the government to account. Because Kemi Badenoch's not doing that.